joining me today on the mat. I hope you're having a great day. We'll get started in Sukhasana. This is just a crisscross pose, an easy sit pose. If your hips are open, you can also take half lotus. Make sure that your pelvis is above your knees. So sometimes we like to tilt, rock our weight forward so we can get those knees to come down just a little bit. Just make sure you don't have this crazy lumbar spine tilt. We don't want to go into like full extension here with the spine. So if you feel yourself finding like this huge curve when you're trying to get into this pose, I want you to rock the tailbone down, pelvis kind of comes up like you're filling it with a bowl of water, so you want it really level, right? And you're just sitting and you're more rooted than you are reaching. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's take some breaths here. I'm going to school you guys on tapas. So tapas is one of the spiritual practices of yoga, and it's an aspect of inner wisdom that encourages us to practice even when we don't feel like it. How many times have we come to the mat, maybe even logged on to take one of my classes, and been like, ugh, just don't want to be here, don't want to do it, but you know how good yoga makes you feel. And you know that fiery passion, that's what makes you like get out of bed in the morning and do your practice, not because you love it all the time, but because you're burning away impurities, and you always feel better once you practice, right? Even if it's just for 5-10 minutes a day, you always feel better. You always take something with you. So today we check in, we notice and inquire on if we even want to be here. And if you don't, know that that's okay. If you do, awesome. That's okay too. So let's take 10 deep breaths right where you're at. And these are pretty natural breath. We're not trying to reach or strive too much today. We're just being okay how we show up. And I want you to start to notice sensations, thoughts that arise, and allow them to simply be on the inhale and allow them to go on the exhale. So it's that ebb and flow of holding on and letting go. Beautiful. I heard a really beautiful quote. I'm reading a book in my yoga teacher training, and it's an anatomy book, but she weaves in all these beautiful quotes from everybody from like Mother Teresa to Gandhi, you know, all the big players. But she said, and this is her quote, "Daily choices make deep channels. Daily choices make deep channels." And it just spoke and it resonated to me, because how often do we want to pick the other choice? Like, how often do we not want to do that cardio? Or how often do we not want to get to our mat? Or not want to do, you know, those things that are mundane, but over time they add up, and then they offer you a new skill, or they offer you some sort of peace. So just lean into the uncomfortable today. That fiery discipline, that tapas, that is why we are here, right? That's what brings us to our mat. And we're creating rituals that become habits, essentially. If you're tuning into my playlist today, flicker your eyes open. It's called Mom Flow. It is in Spotify. So if there's something else that you like to flow to, just put it on something kind of edgy, like on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as like the pace, maybe like a 6. And we'll start with The Journey. So Mom Flow, the third song down, it's called The Journey. And we'll just get right to it today. Down dog. Take a couple deep breaths in your downward facing dog. Again, check in, notice sensations, thoughts that arise, allow them to be, and allow them to pass through you. Downward facing dog, you are a letter V, so you're an inverted V shape. If your heels can't get to the earth, micro bend your knees. And this just makes that chest and thigh connection a little bit deeper. Maybe you start to pedal out your dog, walk your dog from side to side, looking underneath your armpit of the bent knee. My allergies are wacky today. If I sound a little bit more nasally than usual, I apologize. All right, let's look forward, and then shift your weight into your palms. When you get here, pull your navel up and in, away from your pants. So when I say
blocks. So you're pulling your navel away from your waistband. You're pulling it back. And then you're knitting these lower ribs in and up. Squeeze your legs together. And just notice all the intricacies from heel to crown that you've put into motion. And these are ancient templates of energy. This is science. This is a beautiful practice. It's a science and life of well-being. Start to rock back and forth, being careful not to put too much extension into your wrists. Beautiful. Breathe in. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, let's take a little walk to the top of our mat. Halfway lift. Straight spine. This is Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Belly is still in. Exhale, fold. Uttanasana. And if those chest and thighs can't connect, bend the knee. And on this first forward bend, let's notice the sensation in the back first. So feel it round through the back. Look at your navel. All right, now find a straight back, more of a straight back, so we feel it firing up the backs of the legs and the hamstrings, maybe even the calves. Walk your hands out as far as you can, finding some length in the back of the legs. Beautiful. Let's slowly roll all the way up. When you get to the top here, let's take our arms up. Exhale, hands to heart, set an intention. Sometimes intentions, they're kind of hard because you're like, oh, I don't know, there's so many things. So maybe today, I'll give you the beginning of the sentence and you just fill in the blank. I am blank. Arms at side body. Inhale, arms up, look up. On your exhale, let's take a long side body reach to the right. So when I reach, I like to grab opposite wrists. Some people like to grab the side of the leg and get some more leverage. Don't forget to switch some weight to the outside edge of your right foot. So whichever way you lean, make sure you're shifting weight into that foot too. All right, inhale, come up. On your exhale, let's take it over to the left. Let's do that one more time, really getting the intercostals. Breathe in. Exhale, left, right. And back up, left. Inhale, up and back. Hands through your heart fold. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, we'll take it back for plank. To chaturanga. To up dog or cobra. All the way back, down dog. Take 3 breaths here. Here we go. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, float to the top. Half lift. And fold. Coming all the way up. Reach right. Back up. Reach left. Beautiful. Inhale up. And fold. Halfway lift. Plant your hands. Walk or float it back. Let's try to float it back. We'll float it back light. Land with your arms bent in chaturanga. Beautiful. Over the toes, inhale. Down dog. 3 breaths. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, or maybe you take a hop. Light hop to the top of your mat, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to chair, Utkatasana. Arms up, biceps by your ears. Your feet are together, your knees are together. Sink your hips back. Take your toes up off the mat. Find some space here between your toes and then set your toes gently back down. Breathe in. Breathe out.
Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the right. Open arm twist. Sync your breath with your movement. Breathe in. Exhale, twist left. Back up. Stand tall. Hands to heart. I am blank. Set your intention again. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Plant your hands. Let's walk or float it back. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog is waiting, followed by your downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg reaches. We'll get right into the flow today. Exhale, knee to nose, chin or chest. Inhale up. Exhale, knee to nose. One more time. Inhale up. And then step it all the way through. Foot in between the hands. Dial the back foot down. We're coming up to reverse warrior. It's a huge windmill to reverse your warrior. We're looking for space along the lateral side of the body, and we're also looking for this arch. So sometimes when we come into a reverse, we completely let go of the neck. That's not what I want us to do. So when we go into a reverse warrior, I want your neck a natural extension of your spine. So we just look up, and this left hand can be wherever you want it to be. Breathe in. On your exhale, interlace your fingers, humble warrior. Beautiful. Warrior one. Breathe in. Heel to arch alignment. You're externally rotated with the front leg. That same Uddiyana Bandha is activated here. So your belly button is in, your bottom ribs are pulled back, and everything's stacked. So shoulders over hips, right? Breathe in. Breathe out. Virabhadrasana 2. You might have to scoot your gait out. Your pelvis and your shoulders are towards me. Your gaze, that's your drishti, in between your front fingertips. Flip your front palm. Again, we move back into reverse. And we'll flow. Hands down, foot back, chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha or cobra. Downward facing dog. Left side, inhale, left leg up. Knee to nose. Up. Breath comes out. One more time. Up. All the way through. Dial down the back foot. Find your base. Reverse. We're feeling a stretch from our left hip point all the way to our shoulder. When we get that energy to our shoulder, we need to take an extra lift every time we inhale, but do not sacrifice your cervical spine. Breathe in. On your exhale, interlace your fingers. Fold. Humble. Shifting some weight to the outside edge of the right foot. We pull up to Virabhadrasana 1. Warrior 2. Flip your front palm, reach up and back, reverse. And we'll flow. Both hands down. Front foot steps back. Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha or cobra. Bhujangasana. Downward facing dog. Right leg up. Bend the knee, open the hip. Beautiful. From here, so we kind of made like the top of a figure 8. So if you roll the hip, you're making the top of the 8. Now we'll make the bottom of the 8, and we'll take the right knee across the body, left, right. All right, now we take it all the way up again, and we make that big bottom loop of the 8, and then we go left, right. You understand? So we're doing like a figure 8 motion with the femur bone and the hip socket. We're just lubing up our joints. If you do not use it, you will lose it. Take care. Beautiful. Let's take one more. And then step it all the way through. High up on the ball of the left toes. Rise up, crescent. Again, another chance to pull your navel into your spine, to knit your ribs back, and to lift. I am. Check back in with your mantra, with your intention. Let's drop the back knee. Top of the foot comes down. You're still in this beautiful lunge. This is Anjaneyasana. Let's take our hands to our low back, interlace them, pull your shoulders down and back away from your ears. Beautiful. Let's take our hands and place them on either side of your right foot. Shift the weight of your hips back for half split. Let's start to walk our hands forward, curling up your back toes. Plant the whole foot on the mat at about 45 degrees. Left hand stays down. Inhale, right arm up. Parivrtta Trikonasana, revolved triangle pose. Look up. On your exhale, look down. So this left hand will move to about 11 o'clock. We slowly start to teeter our weight forward into our right foot. Left foot stamps the wall behind us. Now we're in revolved half moon. Things are starting to get a little bit dicey here. We persevere. Fiery discipline, we call upon it now. We slowly start to move this into a standing knee raise. Beautiful. All right, we open up through the hip. Put the heel on top of the right knee. Breathe in. Breathe out, sink. It's that wonky chair, that figure four cross. Shoulders down, away from your ears. Gorgeous. Inhale, come all the way back up. Take the knee raise with you for like a high karate. From here, we're tilting at the hips. So as our hips move back, your chest will come forward and your left foot moves back. Now we're in warrior three. Flexed feet. Strong core, strong arms. Now your back muscles are firing up, right? We want to almost get like an upward facing dog chest in this pose. If it helps, find that bind. Take your hands behind you, lift. Beautiful. Bend the right knee. Take the left foot back as far as you can. Crescent lunge. Left hand down, right arm up. Dragonfly twist. Beautiful. Let's take both hands down. Right leg, bend the knee, open the hip. Stay here. Or maybe you flip. If you flipped it, let's flip on back over to plank, to chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Left side, left leg up. Bend the knee, open the hip. So we're taking that huge circle at the top. And then this huge circle. So we're moving clockwise here. So out, up, and down. All right, so make the top of the 8. Now we'll make the bottom of the 8 across the body. So we'll go right, left, then take it all the way up. Draw like 4, maybe 5 figure 8s. And if you think you're doing it wrong, you're not. We're just trying to find some motion and mobility in the left hip. And by crossing your midline, you're having to engage your core pretty much the entire time. You can't just drop into this. Beautiful. Inhale up. Exhale, step it all the way through. High up on the ball of the right toes. We lift and rise for crescent. Beautiful crescent lunges. Let's drop our back knee. Pretty soft, pretty slow. Top of the foot down. Anjaneyasana. This pose serves as an offering. You're opening up your heart space. Might feel a little vulnerable. But in the vulnerability, we find our strength. Interlace your hands behind you. Roll your shoulders back away from your ears. Beautiful. Getting into those hip flexors. Hands come forward and then hands go down. Hips go back. Half split Ardha Hanumasana. Your breath is fluid. It almost comes easy. The moment when it stops being easy, know that you might need to back off just a little bit more from the depth of the pose, and that's okay. Let's slowly look up. We'll start to walk our hands to either side of the left foot. Hop up onto the foot of the right, and we'll keep our right hand down, left arm up for Parivrtta Trikonasana. This is revolved triangle. And on those deep exhales and twists, you're detoxing your organs. If you think of your organs as like sponges, the twist is like squeezing and twisting, squeezing and twisting. And when you visualize it, it's pretty cool. Gorgeous breath. Let's look down. And take this right hand to about 2 o'clock now. We'll keep pushing forward, hinging forward until this left leg, it's gonna load. And all of our weight is kind of centered on this left leg and the right fingertip. So I'd say like 75-25. Both feet are flexed. Your hips are square to your mat. Maybe you're looking up today. You're definitely breathing. From here, we'll start to look down and we'll maneuver our way into standing knee raise. Open up the hip. This foot will rest right on top of your left leg. Breathe in. Exhale, sink. Let's come back up to standing. Take your arms up with you for high karate. Staple your fingers so your palms are together, fingers interlace except for your pointers. Start to hinge forward. Straight line of energy, heel to fingertips. Warrior 3. Micro bend the left knee. Rise up, crescent. Right back where we started. We'll drop the back knee, top of the foot down again. Take your right hand down, inhale, left arm up, and you can be on the back toes if you like for dragonfly twist or not. Beautiful, let's take both hands down. Front foot steps back, chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha, inhale. Down dog. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, walk or float, top of your mat, half lift. And fold. All the way up, root to rise. Arms up, reach up, hands to heart. I am blank. Check in with your intention, check in with why you came. All right, from here, this is Samasthiti. We'll come back here a couple times. We'll step our left foot back. And for alignment, heel to arch. So the left toes are turned in about 45 degrees. Turn your hips towards me. Arms tee out, inhale. Exhale, right hand down, Trikonasana, triangle pose. And so a lot of times what I'll see in this pose is somebody sticking their hips back. Hips are towards me. So if you can't quite reach the floor, that's okay. Take your hand to your shin. We want to be open in the hips and the pelvis. Tuck your right hip under you. It's triangle pose. And like you're serving up a tray or a platter, take the right hand up underneath you. Beautiful. Let's take it back down. Exhale, look down. Inhale, come up, figure 5. Turn your toes slightly out, breathe in. Exhale, God or Goddess pose. We're lunging in both of the hips, so this is almost like an open hip squat. Your arms you choose. You can take a mudra, thumb and forefinger together,
symbolic of the union of your body and your mind. Inhale, come up. Straight arms, straight legs. We're turning towards the left now. So heel to arch alignment, turn towards me. Breathe in. Breathe out. Left hand down, right arm up for triangle pose, Trikonasana. Straight line of energy is a strong one. So make sure that those wrists are pretty much in one line. Beautiful. Exhale, look down. Inhale, come up. Beautiful. We'll take our hands to our heart and walk your feet in about 2 feet apart. Breathe in. Exhale to Malasana. This is that low yogi squat. And we'll plant our hands and play for a minute in crow pose. So your hands are your base. They're pretty wide. There's little to no space underneath your arms and your knees. So if you need to drive those knees to the outside or the inside, you might just have to check in on your anatomy, like where you're at. Wherever you're at is right where you're meant to be. Let's start to shift the weight into the palms. Lift the right big toe. And then you switch. Lift the left big toe. And with your hips higher than your knees, so your hips are super duper high, we start to shift the weight into our hands. Lift both feet. If you lifted both feet, pull your heels in and up as high as you can. Play with it. You'll fall out 1,000 times. Get back up. The fallout. Inquire about what you do after the fallout. That's tapas, right? That's fiery discipline. That's what keeps me coming back to yoga. Time and time again. Beautiful. And when you're done playing, let's take it to the top of our mat. Arms to your side body. Samasthiti. Check in. All right, this time we take a huge step back with the left foot again, but we're lunging. So you're lunging deep into this right leg. Left foot will be at wider gait than you were in your triangle pose, and 45 degrees heel to arch. Arms tee out, hips and pelvis towards me. Breathe in. On your exhale, take your right hand down, take your left arm over you, Uttita Parshva Konasana. This is extended side angle. If you have a bind practice, bind to bird is always available. Get me here for about 5 breaths. So stay here if this feels good to you. If you're ready for something different, back arm over, bottom arm under, look down. Step the back foot up. All the weight's in your left foot. Lift the right knee. Find an extension here, or stay in bird of paradise to your degree. And every day is going to be a little different. There's no judgment to how high your legs go in yoga. It's how you feel in the space that you've created for yourself. Let's take it all the way down. Right foot down. Step the left foot back as far as you can. And now we open up. We'll all meet figure 5 or star pose. Turn both your toes towards me. Hands to your hips, thumbs back, finger pads forward. Inhale, look up. On your exhale, drive through your legs. So we're lifting through our quads. We're not falling into the legs. You're lifted, but you're not hyperextended. Peace fingers, pointer in middle, grab your big toes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. It's Prasarita. Prasarita. Forward fold. Bend your elbows. Beautiful. Let's take our hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. One more time like that. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to your hips. Let's slowly roll all the way up. We'll take one more variation of our Prasarita Padottanasana before we get out of this. This is probably one of my favorite poses because it targets your hamstrings and it's a good shoulder opener. So hands interlaced behind you. Like this. Right? So your palms are together the entire time. When they start to open up, that means you've gone too far. Back it up. Inhale, lengthen, shoulders down away from your ears. Exhale, start to forward fold. When you can't hinge anymore, now we can take our hands up over us. Remember keeping your palms together, lifting through your quads, engaging through your glutes even. Fold. Every inhale, you lengthen your spine. Every exhale, you see if you can just let your arms soften. Gaze at your navel. Beautiful. Slowly come up to where your hands are back at your sacrum. Now release your hands to your hips, and then we roll all the way up. Awesome. Turn your left toes to the back of the house. Lunge deep into the left leg. And heel to arch alignment. Tee out your arms. We're moving to that side angle pose on the left. Breathe in. Breathe out. Left hand down. Right arm up. So Utthita means extended. If you want to extend it, you take this bicep over the ear. And you look up underneath your arm. For those of you who took the next variation, please stay here if you need to, or we can take the top arm back, bottom arm under. Look down. Back foot, it takes a big step up. All the weight's in the four corners of your right foot. Slowly, leading with your heart, open this up to bird of paradise. And maybe this leg gets a little bit more length. For some reason, my left side today is more open. Stay here for as long as you need to. Remembering your mantra, I am. Keeping your bind, the left foot stays where it's at. Right foot drives back. Now we open. Beautiful. On your next inhale, we come all the way up. We'll take it to the front of the house. Samasthiti. Arms at your heart. Hands at your heart. Anjali Mudra. I am. I want us to take our hands to our rib cage, like our lower rib cage. Been trying to breathe a little bit differently during these times because I get super stressed. And when I get stressed, it's like I hold my breath and my breath is always up here. So I've been very mindful of what my ribs are doing when I breathe. So they're not supposed to be going up and down. They're supposed to be going east to west. So just take 5 deep diaphragmatic breaths here. Drawing the breath in through your nose, it'll hit the base of your spine and then start to work its way back up. Before it hits the base of your spine though, there's lots of things going on. Belly will lift, ribs will move laterally, and then your heart will kind of open. Your heart will lift. All right, let's take 3 more like this. Big breath in. There goes my belly. Ribs east to west, heart lifts. Exhale. And the magic's in the exhalation. The deeper you make your exhale, the more you're going to get from your breath. Breathe in. Beautiful, breathe out. One more time. Gorgeous. Arms at side body, inhale, arms up. We have a power pose coming up, exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, let's walk it back to plank pose. Beautiful plank pose. My mat's all rolled up. So from your plank, we'll drop the right hand to the center of the mat, right knee down, left arm up. This is Vashisthasana, side plank. This is a great time to modify, especially if you're having wrist issues or if you're just not feeling this pose today, that's okay. If you want something new, stack your feet. Whoop, allow for the wobble. Left big peace fingers, grab your left big toe, take it up. Release your foot, take your left foot behind you, lift. Wild thing. Beautiful, let's flip it back. Chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Shift the weight forward into your palms. Drop the left knee, Drop the left palm. Right arm reaches. This is your side plank variation. If you would like to take it up, stack your feet. Bandhas engaged, navel to spine. Find your locks, peace fingers to big toes. Extend. This leg is not extending today, so maybe you grab your knee. Beautiful, and you tap the toes behind you. Another offering for your wild thing. Flip it over. Hold plank for 10. And this is where you tap into that fiery discipline. I'm gonna drop to my forearms, interlace my fingers, because my wrists are shot. And you may not necessarily want to be here, but you know how strong you'll become if you stay here. So you lean in, and you stretch the uncomfortable, you pull your navel up and in, you squeeze your legs together, you look up, and you breathe east to west. Last 3, 2, and 1. Drop your knees. Child's pose. Beautiful. Let's take our hands underneath our shoulders. Take a cat-cow here. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze, close. One more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. Come back to center. We'll take our right leg in front of us for half pigeon pose. Half pigeon pose is getting into the hip socket. You're feeling the weight of the body stretch the right leg. So this left leg is pretty much down the center of your mat. Try not to sickle your foot. Breathe in, puff up your chest. On your exhale, start to sink and soften, letting go of any muscular engagement that you can. And when you find that space where you're like, okay, it's been a couple seconds, I think I can go deeper, let your exhalation be your guide. Be here for about 30 seconds. Take 5 more deep diaphragmatic breaths here. Maybe even trying to breathe into the spaces in your back, along your spine. Beautiful. Flicker your eyes open. Let's walk our hands underneath our shoulders. And we'll rock the weight of the body to the right, and we'll just switch sides. So we'll take the left leg forward, right leg back. Try not to sickle the foot. Your leg will extend from the hip. Toes straight. Breathe in. Exhale, fold. And we cling. We cling to all this right here. If you can, if you're willing to lean into the uncomfortable, take a deep breath in. On your exhale, let go of any muscular engagement. We're creating this pressure here, and pressure over time is going to change it. It's going to loosen it. It will get stronger, and it might not ever get easier, but it will get softer. It will get easier to lean into the uncomfortable. For some of us, this pose is very hard. It's very discouraging to not be able to completely sink in, and I get it because I used to be there. When I first did this pose, I was here for about a year. Be okay with where you're at in your journey. Let's check in with our intention. I am. Beautiful. Let's slowly start to rock all the way up. We'll rock the body weight left. Bring both feet in front of us for Paschimottanasana, the seated forward fold. So your feet are flexed. Let's all flex our feet so much so that our heels lift. So you're engaging your hips, your quads, even your calves, and all the muscles that support your ankles and your foot. Now put them down. Can you feel that release? All right. Inhale, arms up. Pull your navel in, knit your ribs back, and fold. Beautiful. Inhale, look up. And from here, search around your house. I'll give you a second. I want you to find a pillow, maybe a bolster if you have one. If you don't have one, grab 2 pillows and a block or a book. So what I like to do to finish out a practice, especially one that we work so heavy in the hips with, is to stack a block underneath a pillow or a bolster and finish with a supported heart opener and hip opener. This is Supta Baddha Konasana. So you're making that bound angle shape with your feet. Your heels and your toes are together. All right. Place your sacrum right at the base of your pillow or your bolster and slowly start to drape your top body over your support. I want you to feel super supported here as you sink into relaxation. And if there's any part of you that's clinging or, that doesn't feel good here, like a lot of times, if your hips aren't ready for this or they just don't want to go there today, you can put your feet on the ground and then put your knees together. That might feel a little bit better with the lower body if you weren't getting that same opening. And I invite you to take your Shavasana from here today. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. I hope we breathe and we rest for 5 full minutes, and I'll mind the time and I'll wake you up in 5 minutes. So just breathing, resting, let your natural rhythm, your natural breath take over. And we'll close here before I send you off to Shavasana with your mantra or your intention. Repeat to yourself, I am. Breathe and rest.
Slowly start to bring the awareness back into your body by deepening your breath. Taking that deep breath in through your nose, filling up your belly, your ribs, and then your chest. Open up your mouth and audibly sigh it out. Let's do that 2 more times. Take a deep breath in through your nose, filling up your belly, your ribs, and then your chest. Open up your mouth, sigh. This last time, I want you to extend the exhalation as much as you can. Take a deep breath in, belly, ribs, chest. Open up your mouth, release. And when you get to the bottom of that exhalation, give it a gentle extra couple seconds of push. And that's where the magic happens. That's where the release happens. And let that exhale take something with it. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. We'll finish with a quote today by Monica Baldwin. And you can extend your arms long, your legs long. She says, the moment when you first wake up in the morning is the most wonderful of the 24 hours. No matter how weary or dreary you may feel, you possess the certainty that during that day, the one that lies before you, absolutely anything may happen. And the fact that it practically always doesn't matters not a jot, but the possibility is always there. Look for magic today in the mundane. Look for beauty everywhere. And thank yourself for making this practice a ritual, because remember those tapas, right? Those inner wisdom, and it encourages us to practice even when we don't want to get there. Pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. And then roll to your right. Pausing a moment for gratitude. 3 things that you're grateful for. Beautiful. Push into the earth. Meet me just like we started in Sukhasana. That's that easy sit pose. Feel a little bit more open in the pelvis and the hips. And we move back to how we started, right? Daily choices make deep channels. Thank you for choosing love today, for choosing you on your mat. And we'll just check in again, notice any sensations, notice any thoughts that you still have creeping up on you. Acknowledge without judgment, let them pass by if they can. And we'll take our hands to our knees, palms face up, thumb and forefinger connect. Again, that's just that body-mind union. Breathe in. Breathe out. Arms gather up all this energy. Take it with you, sweet yogis. Hands meet in high prayer. On a slow exhale, they find your heart. Anjali Mudra. From my heart to yours. All my love and all my blessings. Namaste.